Let's bring into the conversation journalist and international affairs commentator Tom Gross at our Washington studios. Tom, thanks very much for being with us. So after the original vote, we heard a lot of sort of bad blood coming from Europe, a bad atmosphere. With these tough negotiations, do you expect it to get worse?
Yes, I do. Of course, both sides have to try and pretend this will be an amicable divorce. But as we know from the life of individuals, divorces often are not amicable. And with 27 different parties on the other side, each with their own domestic pressures and agendas, it is extremely unlikely that all 27 countries and Britain, which is itself still divided somewhat, will be able to have a smooth divorce from something so complex.
What do you expect to be the toughest part of this negotiation that, as you allude to, ranges from everything from borders to trade to citizenship?
Well, I don't know because, as I just said, there are 27 different countries and these countries have their own priorities and agendas. But I think that the Maltese Prime Minister said today, and he's correct, that they cannot allow Britain to have a better deal outside the European Union, with Europe that is, than inside the European Union. Because if they do, other countries will also seek to leave the European Union and it will collapse. So, in a way, the EU has to drive a hard bargain.
Tom, in another negotiation, certainly in everyone we've seen here in the Middle East, the parties can walk away if it doesn't work. In this case, with that 2-year deadline, is that even an option?
Well, yes. I mean, the Foreign Secretary of Britain, Boris Johnson, has even said that it wouldn't matter if the 2 years expire and Britain just leaves the EU without any kind of a deal. Other people think that's a very reckless thing of Boris Johnson to have said, and Britain is just not such a strong power economically and politically as it once was, and it is part of the European continent, and Britain desperately needs good relations with its European neighbours, and it needs trade, but also with migration. It can't be isolated. London is an international city, an international capital. It relies on enormous migrant and expat populations in almost every economic sector.
Tom Gross in Washington, thanks very much for this. We're going to continue